Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with part 2 of who to me should personally support Celtic. I hope you enjoy it. For those who might be watching it on YouTube, I'll check up on the Facebook version because I record them both at the same time a lot of time nowadays, and or most of the time even. And sometimes it says something like FPS too slow. I don't know if that means frames per second or whatever for some reason. So I just check on that to make sure it's recording properly. Hopefully not having too many problems on the Facebook version, but thanks for checking out my content, and I appreciate your support, and I can't think of much else to say for the intro. Hope there's nothing I've forgotten. I'll probably include it at the end of the video, but these are ideas or points number 11 to 20 of how to try and attract more fans, and again, who I think should support the club. I suppose it also includes like supporters clubs and academies that I hope to make or create. I was thinking I've got a bit of a dilemma of whether to check up the YouTube or Facebook version, because if people do post in the live comments, I can obviously reply to them on YouTube. It feels a bit pointless having them, I suppose, if I'm not going to reply to them. But again, on Facebook it says FPS too slow or something. Again, I think that means frames per second or whatever. But anyway, I'll try and not waffle too much. I know I did struggle to keep the last one down to a good amount of time. But kittens are running around. I do try and include the kittens in the thumbnail, but they don't seem to want to be in the thumbnail. But then when I ignore them, they seem to want to be the centre of attention. So it's a bit of a dilemma. But I did feel a bit bad getting them, forcing them to be in the thumbnail, because I want them to be as free as possible. But anyway, I'm going to try and stop waffling, and as ever, I'd love to know what you think, and here goes. So number 11, I hope both Facebook and YouTube record properly. If not, hopefully at least one of them will work, and I'll post the link for the YouTube on Facebook, as I generally do. God knows what the kittens are doing, but they're trying to jump up this door. Anyway, here goes. So I dream that more people all around the world, as many people as possible from all over the world, all sorts of different countries, will find out about Celtic and the history of the club and what it stands for and that kind of thing, and will come to follow, support, and even love the club all around the world, as I say, from Africa, Asia, the Americas, especially America itself, wherever there's Irish roots, or even just generally where all around the world. Again, if the club has supports clubs and maybe even academies in all possible nations, that'd be pretty cool. Number 12, hopefully with that momentum, the more people find out, the more people see people with a Celtic shirt or Celtic kit, Celtic memorabilia or whatnot, the more they'll find out about the club and research into the club, and hopefully love the club and what it stands for. Again, hopefully they'll come to follow, support and love the club. Number 13, I myself am not a Catholic, but I know the club has Catholic roots, and I often think it'd be cool if Catholic organisations, including even the Vatican itself, Catholic churches and whatnot, invest in the club and support the club financially, if for no other reason than to get back at the Rangers fans, or as I call them, rankers, because Rangers often slag off Catholics and they hate on Catholics, including Pope and whatnot. So I think it'd be cool to get back at the Rangers rankers, as I call them, that Catholic individuals and organisations and groups and churches and whatnot support Celtic, even though I'm not Catholic myself, as I say, but maybe Catholic groups due to Catholic connection. Again, even though I'm not Catholic myself, all support is welcome. I think obviously the club should should welcome all possible supporters. Number 14, once again, I think like anyone who's not a WASP, White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, not WASPs, as I say, so anyone who's not all of those things, who is not White Anglo-Saxon and Protestant, again, WASPs, that term that many people use. I think anyone who's not one of those, so people from from different religions like Muslims, Hindus, and other religions like Sikhs and even Christians of colour, if you like. I think it'd be cool if they all support Celtic. Obviously, I'm a bit biased in that regard, but the reason why I say that partly is because, like, traditionally Rangers, I'm not saying all their fans are racist, but a lot of their fans are quite racist, and they have like, in the past, I think they even recruited for like nationalistic groups, BNP and even the NF, I think, National Front here in the UK. So given what it stands for and how it stands for the British Empire and things like that, and taking over other people's land and subjugating the people and things like that, which I hope to come to. Again, anyone who's not anyone who's a non-WASP, as I call it, a non-WASP, I think should support Celtic, in my opinion. Again, these are all my personal opinions, as I often say. I'll say it again, I didn't mention it in these videos, but I've mentioned it in the past. Like, all these videos are my own personal views, opinions, and whatnot. They're basically me expressing myself. Number 15, once again, I think anyone who wants to support Celtic, I think, should be welcomed. I think the club should welcome people who are socialists, communists, left-wing, right-wing, libertarians, even conservatives, Tories, as I say. I think, or any other political group. I think it should welcome everyone who wants to be part of the club. Obviously, the more fans we get, more supporters we get, or whatever, the better. All that kind of stuff would benefit the club. So I welcome all possible fans. I think the club should, in my opinion, obviously benefit the club itself. Number 16, I would love to hear and read from other people's ideas about what ways you think the club could attract more supporters, fans, or whatever you want to call them. I use those terms interchangeably, whichever term you prefer. I don't think there's any difference. It's just a different word, isn't it? Really say the same thing, I'm pretty sure. Fans, supporters, or whatever. I'd love to know any ideas of how to attract more fans, like whether it's talking about the charitable work the club does, whether it's having supporters clubs in different countries, or whatever other ideas might be out there. I think it'd be pretty interesting to read and hear from those ideas. Number 17, if I'm really imagining and really dreaming, I would love to see, it could be a pipe dream, as I often say, but I'd love to see the club have billions of fans, maybe even over a billion fans around the world. And I think the target markets like Asia, I think would be pretty amazing. I mean, like, I think it's 60% of the world's population, pretty much, roughly 60% of the world's population, I think, lives in Asia. So having a fan base in Asia, in places like Malaysia, India, Indonesia, South Africa as well, yeah. And Singapore and China. India and China, I suppose, are the two biggest markets for like the size of their population and that kind of thing. Although I know football might not be as popular in those countries as it is in other countries, even if only 10% of people in those countries follow football, it's still about 100 million people or so, or even more than that. So I think those are really important markets, even as say Africa, Latin America, basically the four corners of the world, as they say. I think it'd be pretty cool to see Celtic having even over a billion fans all around the world. I think that'd be pretty amazing. Number 18, so I hope videos like this will help to give the club exposure around the world, to markets around the world, so that more people will find out about Celtic and find out about its history and what they went through and the struggle that they went through. People who support the underdogs, if you like, historically. If you look at what Celtic what the Celts went through, or the Irish in this case, when they left Ireland, potato famine and things like that. And also the good work they do with the Celtic Foundation, Football for Good, and things like that. I think it'd be really cool if people supported that good work that they do in Kenya and all around the world, places like Malawi and things like that. So basically some of the poorest places around the world, which I hope the club will continue to do. And the more investment and funds the club gets, hopefully the more they'll be able to do that good work, and hopefully support people like people with learning disabilities or other problems in developing nations, and supporting disabled people, disadvantaged people, poor people, war trade and things like that, supporting projects like that. I think it'd be cool if the club gets more funds, so hopefully they can do more of that kind of thing and be rewarded by getting more fans all around the world. Number 19, again, I think there could be challenges of, like, especially being in Scottish football, to get fans from around the world, but I'd love to know any ideas people have and any sort of ways the club could find out how to attract fans to support the club, and also investment, sponsorship, and that kind of thing, which could be reinvested into things like buying better players, but also investing in the academies and sports clubs and things like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. And I hope with more fans, the financial situation will be better. So it means Celtic can support projects like supporting Indigenous Africans and Australasians in software development. And number 20, also with more fans and to support Indigenous people from developing nations generally in areas like STEM or business, education, training, and things like that. And the more the club helps those sorts of things, hopefully it will come back as a reward, because the club will grow its fan base and hopefully have success both on and off the pitch. And as ever, I'd love to know what you think. Do you think some of my ideas are naive or in pipe dreams? Do you think I could improve upon them? Or do you have any ideas of your own which you could add? If you want to give me a score out of 10 or even 100 or whatever, I prefer 100 because it's like a percentage. I prefer it to be out of 100 rather. So a mark or rating or score out of 100 or whatever. And as ever, constructive criticism, like how I can improve or anything like that. Anyway, peace and love. I'm out.